In League One, Darlington are 9th in League Two. The Quakers had lost their last 3 games, but they kicked off the weekend with a winning Friday feeling at Cheltenham.
Cheltenham had won 5 of their last 6, but contributed to their own downfall 5 minutes before the break. Neil Wainwright's strong drive turned into his own net by Jerry Gill. Darlington were well on their way to a 4th away win. Wainwright was again unlucky not to score when another fierce shot was beaten away by Shane Higgs after 56 minutes. But from the corner, Darlington were home and dry. Alan Armstrong on the end of Ian Clark's delivery for his 7th of the season. Cheltenham 0, Darlington 2.
They did win at home to Mansfield last night, and they move into the playoff places.
Mansfield came into this game without a win in 9. They hadn't scored a league goal in 440 minutes, but that changed just before half-time. Richie Barker broke the Darlington offside trap and then broke the deadlock too. David Hodgson told his players to have more confidence in themselves at the break. That could have been shattered had Wayne Corden's free kick not bounced back off the crossbar. But the Quakers' football was patient and controlled. It was just a matter of time until they found the equaliser. Within a minute, Clyde Wynyard fired over after good work from Ian Clark. But the big Dutchman wasn't to be denied for long. Clark again put the ball into the middle. Alan Armstrong couldn't finish, but Wynyard could. That was his first goal in a month. The relief was obvious. Craig Hignett almost caught out Kevin Pilkington with a free kick from a very acute angle. But after Pilkington had produced an excellent point-blank save to deny Wynyard a second, Hignett finally did catch the keeper cold. It was the former Boroughman's first game in a month, and the quick free kick showed at 34 years of age the legs may not be as quick as they once were, but the brain certainly is. Wynyard almost sealed the win with a third late on, but 2-1 was enough to push Darlington up to 7th, just what the doctor ordered after a free Saturday thanks to their early FA Cup exit.
I feel fed up, because the thing is you see everybody playing, and I think we all love to play, and it looked like a very long week, because especially Saturday afternoon, well, you see everybody play. You want to play, and I think it gives us more energy, more boost.
The first major domestic trophy of the season has been handed out, with Soccerina in Durham, the historic venue for the inaugural North East Media Masters Tournament. Now, the real attraction was savouring again the timeless heroes of North East football, like John Beresford. You never lose your touch, you know, providing you've got one.
So don't forget, tonight it's the North East Media Masters, the 6-a-side competition. It's the first time we've done this.
Yeah, we wanted to score on the first few games, so the lads took us up front and managed to took a few away, so we won the last 2 games, so at least we haven't gone away with nothing, you know.
Given the chance again, I do it all the same, but either way.
Someone passed me a bad ball and I overstretched and my hamstring went, so. But I enjoyed the games. I had a good kick at 1 or 2 boys.
Start again. Now what's the right all the answers you made out of me when you said that you were wrong.
It's great as you see the lads enjoy it though. I mean, they appreciate when a professional comes along and joins in and they can see the difference and they think they can play football and they look and they think it's an eye-opener, but it's good fun and I mean, hopefully we bring a wee bit of something special for them.
It's been a great night, hasn't it? I think all the ex-players have enjoyed it. We're very stiff and sore tomorrow, but it's been a good night.
Soccerina, our motto is play the game, you know, and that's all it is. It's all about enjoyment. We just want people to come, see the place, and enjoy the facilities here, you know. And like I say, play the game and just enjoy it.
I've got a few goals, yeah, but we've done well. I've enjoyed it. It's the first time I've played since about November actually. So last November I've really not done anything. You know, it's.
Are you tempted to come out of retirement?
Well, we'll see tomorrow morning. Probably not.
Galaxy were runner-up in the Media Masters soccer tournament at Soccer Arena in Durham last night, organised by Tyne T Television, is that right?
We won every single game until we played Darlington Football Club in the final, and they beat us 5-2.
Oh, fantastic. As one of the club sponsors, I asked Hodgie yesterday if there was any chance of taking part. He said no problem, and as a Darlington fan to play a winning Darlington side, fantastic.
You could see a few of the teams after the first couple of games decided to raise their game and started getting stuck in a little bit like, you know, we got a bit of needle, but yeah, it's good, good crack.
You'd have been in trouble with Hodgie tomorrow if you hadn't taken that home.
So, I wouldn't bother going into training if I hadn't wanted to tell you.
I have to report that the Tyne T's junior team with Mr O'Rourke here came third, and the Tyne T's veteran teams with Mr Beresford and myself, who did, of course, played the game, I think is the expression.
That's it. We showed some good touches, anyhow. Well, at least my kit fit. I was glad to actually. I was looking at some of them back there. That was great.
Fitting nicely, yeah.
Their travel sickness. Darlington are up to 5th in League Two thanks to a 3-0 win over Leyton Orient. It only took 5 minutes for the first goal to arrive. Clyde Wynyard would surely have converted Craig Hignet's cross. Alan White not turned the ball past his own goalkeeper. The Dutchman had to wait almost an hour to get on the score sheet, stooping to head home Neil Wainwright's cross. And Wynyard was involved in the third as well. He flicked on Sam Russell's long ball for Alan Armstrong, who calmly lobbed the keeper to make it 3. That could be his last appearance for the Quakers. His contract is up this week. Talks on a longer-term deal began today.
Similar position in League Two after beating the leaders Scunthorpe on their own patch. The home side would argue that the referee was the Quakers' man of the match, first of all by giving Andy Butler a straight red card when many others would just have shown yellow, then by ignoring a possible push in the build-up to Darlington's winning goal, which was slotted home by Alan Armstrong. But why should the Quakers worry about that? It wasn't their problem. The referee did give them a problem though. He sent off Brian Close, but the Quakers held on. Darlington are starting to look like playoff material in League Two. It might not have been their day after Clyde Wynyard made a mess of his early penalty against Macclesfield. But the Quakers and their Dutch striker didn't sulk, they got on with the job. And Wynyard it was that opened the scoring at the end of a neat passing move. Clyde himself didn't manage such a neat passing move and crashed into an angry defender. The game was virtually won by half-time. Neil Maddison rolled back the years with a spectacular volley from Craig Hignet's corner, and Darlington were on their way to their second win of 2005. Macclesfield did manage to create some doubt about the final outcome when former York man John Parkin got lucky with a deflection to reduce the arrears before half-time. But David Hodgson was rotating his 30-somethings cleverly. He took Hignet off on the hour and brought on Alan Armstrong, and the former Borough striker clinched the win that took the Quakers 6th. Tie for Darlington yesterday, but the Quakers had a chance to boost their promotion hopes in League Two. And things were going according to plan when Adolfo Gregorio put them in front against Oxford with his first goal for Darlington. But Jamie Brooks found an equaliser before half-time. It finished 1-1 and the Quakers stay in 6th place in League Two.
Darlington stays 6th in League Two, but Adolfo Gregorio's early goal looked as though it would be enough to beat 5th place Northampton, until 3 minutes from time, when David Galbraith fired home a stunning equaliser. Disappointment, but the Quakers are still unbeaten this year. Bench for their 4-0 defeat at Game Meadow just before Christmas, with a comprehensive win over Shrewsbury at the Williamson Motors Stadium. Neil Wainwright had the Quakers in front. He couldn't really miss after good work from Webster. Alan Armstrong takes the plaudits for the second. He didn't score it, but he never gave up the chase to keep the ball in play and tee up Craig Hignett. That was game over. From then on, it was just a matter of whether Darlington could equal the 4 goals they conceded in Shropshire. Neil Maddison almost made it 3. Wainwright followed up. He couldn't finish, but Hignett could. 3-0 final score. Darlington remain unbeaten in 2005.
Basketball.
It was going transfer crazy on Monday. Down in League Two, Darlington's David Hodgson was proving what a wheeler-dealer he's become. Quakers' boss has come up with some inspired signings that have transformed his team. And it looks as though Hodgie has played another blinder with Bobby Peta.
There's a new face in the Darlington gang, and it reunites a couple of hitmen, Bobby and Clyde. Peta and Weinhardt are good friends. They started out in the Ajax Academy. Now Darlington's gone Dutch.
I'm happy obviously that I get the chance to play and get in the rhythm again, and I hope that I can help them go into playoffs and then do my bit.
The former Celtic winger was released in November, and after casing a few championship joints, he's chosen Darlington for his next job.
So there was quite a few clubs that were interested, but for some kind of reason they just backed off after a couple of days, and you know, then keeps going on longer without a club. Then Darlington, you know, was interested and said, well, I want to play football, and if nobody's on the level, championship level, is going to be interested, then I'm going to have to do a step back.
David Hodgson's already signed some big names this season, but in poaching Peta, he's even surprised his own assistant.
He has this terrific reputation of bringing in sort of, shall we say, big stars, especially at this level. And he's managed to convince Bobby to join us, which is terrific for us and terrific for the football club.
Clyde Weinhardt's goals have renewed his hunger for the game, and he knew that his old friend had to get back to playing first-team football.
I had a good chat with him before, and I said, Bobby, doesn't matter what's going to happen now, you've got to play. Because the longer you're out of the game, the harder it's going to be to come back.
Back in training and back with a club. Darlington and their Dutchmen have high targets, and Peta has a point to prove.
I shouldn't be too hard on myself, because I've been out for a few months, and you know, training on my own is not the best kind of thing, but I've done my bits, and now it's time for me to show it on training and during the games.
Well, Colin, Bobby's got a bit of pedigree there. I mean, how good's he going to look in League Two?
Well, according to Bolo's ending, we had a chat about him today, actually. You know, Bobby Peta turning up at Darlington, and Bolo said, as a youngster, he was probably going to be one of the big Dutch stars. And another Dutchman in the northeast. Goodness me, when's it going to end?
The flights are great, I tell you. I said he needed one more just to get the private jet to go.
But he has got to bring some quality to that team.
Of course he is. You know, people will be questioning why is he not, you know, a higher standard. The reason for that is a lot of the pressure up, you know, in the first division, so to speak, or the championship. The managers are so desperate to win a game or to lose a game. They play more workmanlike teams. He's got all the ability in the world, and I think it'll suit him at Darlington.
Talking of managers, over at Hartlepool,
Darlington did the business as well. A brilliant debut goal by Dutch winger Bobby Peta was a worthy winner at Bury. A great finish for Darlington's 6th away win of the season, their 7th in League Two.
That was the story of Hartlepool's 1-0 win. Darlington are still huffing and puffing their way towards the playoffs in League Two. Clyde Weinhardt's brilliantly improvised goal gave the Quakers a sniff of victory away at Wickham. That was the Dutchman's 9th goal of the season, but Darlington only held the advantage for about 2 minutes. Ian Stonebridge saw his shot come back off the woodwork, and wily veteran Steve Claridge, whose 39th birthday is just 2 months away, popped up to finish off. It was 1-1 at the end.
Hats off to the ground staff at Darlington. They somehow made the pitch playable, and the team repaid them with a winning performance. Matty Clark with the opener. Swansea were level after great work from Marcus Bean, who broke down the left and laid on the easiest of finishes for Adrian Forbes. Darlington needed 3 points to see them back into the playoff positions, and manager David Hodgson will have been pleased with the determination that eventually saw Neil Wainwright force the ball over the line to make it 2-1 to the Quakers. Well done, and finally,
Defenders were more solid at Darlington. The Quakers beat Boston with a single goal. It was scored by David McGurk on 69 minutes. A good win for Darlington. It keeps them well in touch on the fringe of the playoff zone in League Two. Things are looking up for Darlington, though. They played League Two leaders Yeovil for the 4th time this season and were full value for their first win. Darlington went in front on 13 minutes. Matt Clark had a hand, and after a goal-mouth scramble, Clyde Weinhardt rammed home his first home goal in 2 months. The league leaders were caught out on the break on the hour. Weinhardt freed strike partner Alan Armstrong to run almost 50 metres before shooting past goalkeeper Chris Wheel. An important goal by Armstrong because Yeovil got one back inside the final 10 minutes. The corner fell to Darren Way and he put it away inside the 6-yard box. Darlington held on despite going down to 10 men. Weinhardt was sent off in the final minutes with a straight red card. It finished 2-1 to Darlington.
Grimsby was not without controversy. Nothing wrong with the winning goal. Jason St Just firing his first for the Quakers from the edge of the area. But then it all kicked off. Sam Russell brought down Michael Reddy and Grimsby had a penalty. Russell escaped with a yellow card when it might well have been red. Martin Gritton scored from the spot, but the referee spotted some encroachment and ordered the penalty to be retaken. You've probably guessed what happened next. Russell, who was lucky to still be on the pitch, saved the penalty. Grimsby were mad, especially Terry Fleming. He'd just been booked for a bad tackle, and then he decided to give the referee a piece of his mind. It wasn't the best decision. He was sent off, and Darlington were home and dry.
Darlington fans suffered even more at Bristol Rovers, where Craig Russell took less than a minute to put the Quakers ahead. But Rovers never had any intention of giving up on this one. Richard Walker had them level in first half stoppage time, but the fun didn't really start till the second half. 4 minutes after the break, Aaron Lescott tricked Jason St Just, penalty.